What happened when the frog crashed his car? It got towed. What's up, peeps? It's been a minute. I hope you've been well. I hope you're thriving. Blah, blah, blah. I was in Banff on vacation. I was seeing the mountains. I saw a dinosaur museum. Today we are reviewing a very, very special Bionicle. Possibly the most special Bionicle. Today is Motunui. So, Motunui, in 2009, he looks like this. He's a pretty normal-sized figure. There is Titan Motunui. We'll get into him in another video, but not to spoil the figure too much here, but this is Motunui as we know him in 2009. However, that is not how you know Motunui throughout most of the Bionicle storyline. So, before we start the video today, we are going to discuss Motunui lore so that we can fully appreciate why he is here in normal. God, there's so much cat hair floating around. So we can understand why he is such an important figure today. In fact, I wrote up some lore that I'm going to read to you because I kind of needed to get my notes straight. So I'll put some content up on the side, but let's appreciate Motunui in today's lesson. So, lock in. From 2001 to 2008, which is the majority of the Bionicle storyline, the Toa were the main heroes. We really haven't seen any Toa, not counting the stars yet. 2009 has been Glatorians, which are different, but throughout 2001 to 2008, Toa were the good guys. They were like heroes of Bionicle society. Makuta were the villains, and then the people of the Bionicle world, like all the normies, were called Matoran. There was also Turaga, which are like senior Matoran. They're kind of like elders, but they're also just normal people compared to Toas and Makutas. Those were the main good guys and bad guys fighting in a world full of Matoran. So Motunui at this time was the island, the land that the Matoran and the Toa and the Makuta lived on. Oh, this is going to be long. So Motunui was sometimes personified, like the Great Spirit and like energy. He was kind of like a god, but that was the most he was ever like embodied as an individual. He was definitely not ever a physical, actual thing. It was at most like the spirit, the Great Spirit, the spirit of Motunui, but tangibly speaking, it was just the land, really. So Makuta were always trying to like spread darkness on the land of Motunui, tainting the Great Spirit, corrupting it, whatever. And the Toa were the ones that protected the Great Spirit, protected the world, protected the Matoran. In 2006 to 2008, so the slightly later part of this main line of Bionicle, it was called the Ignition Trilogy, those 3 years. And there's a little subplot here that we're skipping to. So masks were huge in the lore, right? Like every Toa had a mask that kind of gave them a unique power. I'm pretty sure Makuta's had unique masks as well. They were like, they gave them unique superpowers, like the mask of invisibility, whatever. At this point in the story, in 2006, the Great Spirit, like the world, Motunui, is slowly dying. And the Mask of Life, which is like the most important mask, and no one figure is wearing this mask. It's just somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know how it came to be, really. Sue me. The Mask of Life is the only thing that can save Motunui, the land. So everyone wants this mask because of just how powerful it is, and these 3 years of the story is like a mini storyline within Bionicle itself of finding the mask of life, and bad guys keep getting it, and then the Toas of a certain year would get it, and then it would get lost again, and next year's Toas and Makutas were trying to get it. So that's what the Ignition trilogy was finding or trying to secure the mask of life to save the land. So at the end of this trilogy in 2008, the Toa get the mask and put it in like the heart of the land, like this giant special chamber, which is where you would revive the essence of Motunui. It's like this uber special place. And when they finally secure the mask and insert it into this place, two things occur. One paper down.
Bruh.
One is that the most epic story hit in all of Lego, other than Zane being like an android robot in Ninjago, is that the island of Motunui, the land, is actually a giant robot. And the robot, so everyone, all the inhabitants, like the Matoran, Toa Makuta, are living on a giant robot that was actually submerged in like an ocean. And when they insert the mask of life, the robot like stands up and rises. I also don't know what happens to like the millions of Matoran at this stage. I don't know if they're just like sideways and there's gravity. I don't know. It rises up and hold up. And I think it was like unintentional. Like the Toa were just trying to revive the land, but this was kind of like a trigger that made him go into giant robot form. So the point here is that it was like unintentional. The other thing that happens is that it's revealed that in this transition of like putting the key into the land of Motunui, bringing him up into a robot form, Makuta, like the main Makuta of the story at this point was Makuta Pterodax. He like slips into Motunui like in this super fast transition to like take over. So when the giant robot stands up, it's actually Makuta who finally like won. Dude, what the fuck? Where are you going? Stop. Stop. What are you... When this reset occurred, it is actually now Makuta, evil bad guy, in the giant robot Motunui. And that's kind of what Makutas, whatever you would refer to them as, wanted throughout the entire storyline, right? Is like just spreading evil and making the world evil and dark and stuff. So they kind of waited for this reset that the Toa did to like slip in and make the world evil. I don't know why I needed 2 minutes to explain that. So now the whole world is cast in shadow and the world is actually a robot. So the good Motunui energy got ejected away. So it got fucking launched into space when Makuta took over, and it got launched in the Mask of Life that the Toa put in. So all the good energy that always inhabited Motunui naturally got put into Mask of Life when the Toa tried to revive the world, and Makuta then shot it out away in the form of the Mask of Life off the giant robot / world. That's the end of 2008. So 12-year-olds across the world were like, oh my god, 8 years and it's evil now. And like Motunui was a robot and now it is gone, and like what's gonna happen to all the Matoran? It seemed like an evil ending. Like it's truly, trust me, that 2008, like this shit was insane. So 2009 starts, and this is like a soft reboot for Bionicle, but not really, because we are still directly following Motunui now. So the Mask of Life goes down. It's been traveling through space for a while now, and it finally like hits a planet. And that planet is Barra Magna. So as soon as the Mask of Life touches down, it like grows itself a body, because even throughout 2006 to 2008, like the Ignition trilogy, it was doing crazy shit. Like it touched a sea creature and that transformed into Gadunka. It like has crazy power, so it's not actually that far-fetched that it created like a vessel for itself. So that is the first time that Motunui is created as a normal dude, is when the Mask of Life hits down and touches Bear Magna. Oh my god. So now Motunui knows that his entire world back home, like the giant Makuta robot, is cast in evil, and there's nothing he can really do right now because he probably just gained consciousness and got a body, and he doesn't know where he is. So, on Barra Magna, the civilians, like the kind of Matoran equivalents, are called Agori, and the larger sort of Toa equivalents are the Glatorians that we have been reviewing so far. Unlike Toa and Makuta dynamic, though, Glatorians aren't really pure good or evil. They're just like tribe leaders and gladiators, hence the name Glatorians, that help their tribes out, and they like battle in arenas for resources. And some of the Glatorians are a bit more evil, like the Skrull tribe, you would say kind of is the evil of Barra Magna. But really, Glatorian and Agori are all just a bit more neutral, and they're all just trying to like survive because Barra Magna is a very desert, barren world. So there's not like core pure evil and good like there is with the Toa and Makuta, but that's kind of the dynamic on Barra Magna, is the Glatorians fighting to help their villages filled with Agori. So one sec. Anyways, okay, because there's nothing much to do now. Like I said, for Motunui to help his world, he kind of just starts to meet some Agori, meet some Glatorian, and he helps the more good ones, like the heroes, I guess, defeat the bad ones. That's all I have written. So like they defeat the Skrull, because I think throughout 2009's story, the Skrull are kind of like terrorizing other tribes. I definitely wouldn't say the Skrull are as evil as Makuta throughout all of 2001 and 2008. But they are the bad guys on this planet. So Motunui kind of steps in, helps put a stop to their tyranny, stuff like that. In return for helping them, the people of Barra Magna help Motunui with his much bigger, giant, otherworldly problem. So it's revealed that Barra Magna, stay with me, Barra Magna is actually the home of some other powerfully ancient beings called the Great Beings. And they were the creators of the giant Motunui robot. So they created what's technically called the Great Spirit Robot, all of the Matoran to live on it, all of the Toa, and I think even the Makuta, but some fucking nerd might say the Makuta weren't technically created by the Great Beings, and maybe they did come on later. Whatever. All I'm saying is that the Great Beings did create the Motunui robot / world and the Matoran and stuff to populate it. And they sent it out on like a giant long play mission to like observe and learn things about the universe. So it's found out that, yeah, Barra Magna, not just home to Glatorians and Agori, but literally the beings that created Motunui to go to other worlds. Insane stuff going on here. So now the fine people of current day Barra Magna show Motunui that the Great Beings had a prototype giant robot that never got launched out into space because it like failed or whatever. And it was still planet side on Barra Magna, but it was all like broken and prototypey. So, oh yeah, as a side note, that classic logo, I'll put it right here, of like a little galaxy diagram, and it's like 3 virtues or something that I think are duty, destiny, and unity. It's like the 3 virtues of Bionicle. Those are actually, hold up, those represent 3 planets. Barra Magna is one of the 3 planets. And Barra Magna was actually one much bigger planet long ago, and it got split into the 3 planets. The original planet was called Spherus Magna, and it's split into 3, Barra Magna being one of them. During like some event when the Great Beings, I think, were even still alive doing shit. I don't know. Spherus Magna, big planet, got split into 3. Those 3 planets represent the 3 virtues of Bionicle. and the biggest normal planet of those three is Barra Magna, the desert one, where all this is taking place. But that's just a quick factoid for that logo icon thing. Anyways, let's not get too confused. So, okay, Little Motunui gets everyone to help him restore this giant robot prototype that they showed him, that's been here on Barra Magna, and Motunui kind of gets into or becomes this robot as well. So now he gets really big. This action, I think, flags the original, now Makuta inhabited giant robot. It like alerts him that Motunui's like doing well mentally, and now it flies over to Barra Magna to fight giant Motunui. So now there's two Motunui-sized robots, the good guy in the prototype, and Makuta in the original OG Great Spirit robot. They are now both on Barra Magna, which implies that Barra Magna must be a really big world if two world-sized robots are fighting on it. And all the Matoran are still on one of those Great Spirit robots, the Makuta one. So literally everyone and everything is on Barra Magna for like an epic fight. All of the Matorans, Turaga, Makuta, Toa, Agori, Glatorians, it's all happening on Barra Magna. So there's the ultimate war about to start with every party involved. Long story short, Motunui wins, like good Motunui in the new prototype body, destroying Makuta in the original Great Spirit robot, which is kind of sad because that is the OG homeworld, and like it's still kind of him, right? Even though Motunui's now in the prototype robot, like he did have to destroy the original good robot. Okay. We're getting towards the end. So now Motunui does one last giant baller move. He uses all of his Great Spirit energy to reunite Barra Magna with those other two planets. So those actually are important to know they existed. It wasn't just for the logo lore. And he restores Spherus Magna, the OG Bionicle planet that birthed the great beings that subsequently birthed Great Spirit robots that represent unity, duty, destiny. Everything's coming together. Now, all the Toa, Matoran, Agori, Glatorian, everyone pretty much except Makuta's and Skrull, are living in peace on this newly reunited giant planet, and it's no longer like deserty and barren anymore. It's like lush and shit. Under the lovely presence of the Great Spirit Motunui, because I think when he does this move, he does kind of lose his body form. He doesn't go back into normal small Motunui, and I don't think he's staying as like the giant planet-sized prototype robot. Like I think he essentially, it is a sacrifice, but he's kind of just back to chilling as a Great Spirit / like God entity, which was how he was throughout all of 2001 to 2008, right? Yeah, he went from being this planet-sized godly robot to being cast away as this little mortal, simple being, right? Back to his literal roots, then regains consciousness as another robot, defeats his OG robot self, puts an end to the Makuta, becomes a literal uniter of planets. It's good shit. Oh, I have a note here, not to end on an anticlimactic note, but the reason the great beings created Motunui and these Great Spirit robots in general, like I said, was they sent them out on long-term missions to like just gather information and learn. It was with the purpose to restore their three fractured homeworlds, so that kind of makes sense. And when you think about it, even though if it was Motunui's game plan or not, you could say that one of the great beings, Great Spirit robots, did succeed with their mission, because even though he got ejected into space, long term, he did reunite the three worlds. I don't think it was his intention, because it was more so to defeat Kuda and stuff. But I guess the great beings would actually be proud of Motunui. So now you can appreciate Motunui. You can understand his glorious yellow body. You can appreciate the Mask of Life piece, which It's really the Titan set, which we'll get to soon, where the Mask of Life, the golden Mask of Life, is like worth $300. This little yellow piece is not worth that, but it is the Mask of Life. That's what you're looking at right there. All right, I hope you went to the bathroom, got yourself a turkey sandwich, hit the subscribe and bell button, but now we're back for the figure. And bro, not to like be ruthless, but after all that, he's not really a 10 out of 10. Anyways, we'll start with the feet. They are these feet. What's more interesting than the feet is that for the first time on our channel, at least, we're seeing ankle armor. Ankle armor is not usually something they prioritize on normal medium-sized sets. But I guess they just wanted to buff the fuck out... Oh, shit, my notes. I guess they just wanted to buff the shit out of Motunui's legs. Also, considering they gave him the cool, tanky-ass shin pieces in the first place. So, I think they would have looked completely fine without these, but it's a cool piece. They are exclusive to 2009. We're going to see these on a lot of other Glatorians, like as normal limb armor. But it's cool that they added them as extra ankle guards, I guess. I'm never going to complain when normal canister-sized sets get extra little treatments like this, because it always kind of... You get bored of always seeing the same thigh armor, the same shoulder armor, so it's kind of cool when they spice things up a little bit. With that being said, I really don't like his normal leg armor. This is what I call the toilet seat piece, or more so the toilet lid, I suppose, but it's kind of an ugly armor. It always sideways attaches. It would never be front-facing like this. So from the front, it's pretty anticlimactic armor because the design of the armor, in my opinion, is very much the side, so it looks like it's on sideways, which it is. I'm not doing a good job describing this, but you know what I mean. And also the way it's connected is super fucking bizarre because oh my god, use like the elastic band ball piece that you would normally like put elastic bands on as the holder. They just stick it through the yellow armor into the back of the black shin. That's a weird fucking way to do it. They could have just put like a 3-long axle right through the middle. I don't know. It's super fucking weird. They're light gray, so he has these two like ass butt cheeks. I don't really know. Can I say that on YouTube? Anyways, besides for the ankles, the legs are kind of whack. I don't know. Let's just keep going. So the middle, again, he kind of gets a special treatment of like 2 chest pieces. He gets a nice little Toametru chest piece on his lower chest, like / groin, I guess. And then he gets this kind of weird, not very utilized chest piece. It's kind of like a small one because, because you can still really see the classic black torso piece in the back. So this is not a chest piece that like covers everything, but it gives him a nice yellow accent. Ooh, that kind of sounded racist. The chest is definitely better than the legs here. I like the color balance. It's more of a 50-50 black and yellow, and you have multiple armor pieces, which is pretty cool. The arms are all right. I do love these blade pieces, and he has kind of like Kina had the new limb pieces that have the holes and cross holes on the side rather than the front, which is kind of cool. I do think that overall this set has too much yellow, and it's especially evident on the arms and on the legs. He's just really yellow heavy, and it's kind of an ugly color, to be honest, so I'm trying not to focus on that too much, but it's like super obvious in the arms because the limb piece and the armor piece are the exact same color. That's hardly ever done, and when it's in such a brutally bright, ugly color, it's like especially noticeable. Like if it was green or something, or red or black, like it would be pretty chill, but like fucking bright yellow, it's kind of an eyesore. And then I guess the weapons are pretty mid for me on this set as well, because it's just default Thornax launcher, which at this point you may gauge I don't really love. I prefer when it's kind of comboed in with a melee weapon. And in his offhand, it's a shield, which is made from the same pieces as his shoulder, just in a nice pearlite gray or silver or whatever. And they're just attached to his fist in like mirrored positions. So one looks like that, and then you put the other one like that. And I do have to admit that the way they close in on his fist is like particularly satisfying. How like it forms a perfect square around there. A1 fit. And then I forget if I mentioned this in the first part of the video because I don't know how I'm going to edit this together yet, but I think I kind of started rambling about the Mask of Life. This isn't the gold Mask of Life that Titan Motunui has, which I just can't help but preview here. Oh, shit. This is the Mask of Life that Titan Motunui has, and this is, oh fuck, one sec, oh, okay. And this is the piece that is like the infamous like fucking $300 piece. Not to flex, bro, why is he focusing? He looks like a villain. Yeah, that piece. It's not that, but what I'm getting at is that even in this ugly yellow, the Mask of Life is just like the iconic mask. And what's really cool is that in front of our eyes this entire time, not like in this video, I'm talking about like throughout Bionicle, the Mask of Life actually was revealing that Motunui was indeed a giant robot because of the infamous like Illuminati shit going on here, but it's with the figure. I don't know, I'll put it up on screen probably. Which, you know, I like that. I really like when something is obvious in retrospect and it was like there the whole time. It is a little weird that he has blue eyes. I would think that because he's the embodiment of like pure good, they go with the default green eye. Blue to me is always just reserved for like the ice types. So it's also kind of weird that it's here, but it's whatever. And black life piece counter. Bro, I'm so sick of talking about life piece counters. Y'all, is Motunui as an entity, as a force to be reckoned with, as the catalyst of Bionicle, nothing less than a 10? Absolutely. Synonymous with Bionicle. He is Bionicle. Like, this is beyond any level of Hall of Fame status. He is literally the blueprint. Instant 10. Is this figure and representation of Motunui a 10? Absolutely not. Not to spoil Titan Motunui review. I do love that set, and it could be in the 10 conversation. Anyways, this guy, what I'm getting at, is not. To be honest, he's actually kind of mid. He has the basic ass weapons. Arms and legs have way too much yellow. The pros of this figure are literally the chest design, which is nothing insane. Like Kina, we rebuilt her fucking chest because it was so cool, but I appreciate the armor. The Mask of Life gets bonus points because it's the Mask of Life. And I guess fucking ankle guards, but like, he's actually pretty not great out of the Glatorian size sets so far, which is just hilarious to say, but like, yeah, I don't love this Motunui. I'm feeling a light 7 transition. I don't know how that looked. Anyways.